What's up, guys? This is Automatic Jack. Today I've got kind of a different thing for you. Just one quick game. One of my commenters suggested throwing out individual games as just to see how the community reacts. So I thought I would put this one up here, and instead of the typical, I mean, you guys have usually seen me when I'm playing, you know, in the 25, 26, 2700 range. So this video actually comes from last year in the spring, right about when I started playing. So I was still using Garvey because he was the only warlord that I had, I think. I might have had one or two that I had no cards for and had no idea what to do with. But I managed to play a ranked game. I have no idea why I saved it. I don't think there's anything particularly crazy about it, but it's kind of a look back on some things that we learned to do since then and some things that we were doing right from the beginning. So I thought it would be interesting to make a video. Hopefully you guys will think the same thing. So let's take a look. I'm not exactly sure when this was produced. It was post Solar Auxilia. Solar Auxilia was out. I think it was when the Knights were doing pretty well for themselves. So early on, I mean, you can see our deck is not super strong, as of course. Sorry, I'll wait until they stop talking. Our deck is not super strong. Like a lot of decks, you know, when you're at the 12, 13, 1400 range, people are not going to have a ton of epics, a ton of legendaries. They are not going to have the huge card selection, and they may not have all that much experience with their warlord, which is one thing we're going to see here. I miss at least one opportunity, maybe more than that we'll see on review, to use Garvey's power to get a little extra utility out of troops or to just avoid taking damage to the face. So with that in mind, I think this deck has, I mean, if it has any epics in it, it has maybe one or two. It has no legendaries. I don't know. I think my first legendary for Horus was, for Sons of Horus, was second wave, and I didn't get that until, you know, maybe October, November last year. So with that, let's take a look at how we fare against our opponent, who is about a 1200 rated Imperial Knight player. So as we can see, he's not trying to build up a ton of energy. This could be because he doesn't really have that many weapons. Again, people do not have a ton of cards at this level. So we get our draw out there. We think that's a pretty decent start. We have no extra energy to just blast. And Garvey, I really think Garviel can be a decently strong warlord. I mean, I'm trying to round out my Sons of Horus collection. I'm missing Vengeful Spirit. But at this point, I mean, you can do work with Garvey up until the 15s in there without having legendaries. You can. You can do it without having many epics. I had taken this deck up from whatever the starting rank is up until about the 11, 12, 1300 range. I think I started playing Corbacks shortly after this, and then Corbacks just shot me up the ranks, absolutely like a meteor in reverse, a reverse meteor that comes out of the ground and flies into space. But at this point, you know, Garvey was what I had, so it's what I work with, and he's workable. He's workable. 2 energy, 2 damage anywhere. It's workable. Sons of Horus has a great card pool. They got some very strong cards, more strong cards now, and a lot of them in the common. Like Outflank is a common. Hard removal for 5. It's not terrible. It's not a bad card at all. It's quite good. Alright, so we get our Ursa up, which we can see there's not like a ton of deck synergies going on. We got a lot of frontline. We like to hide behind frontline. Well, or at least these 3 guys with conditional frontline. Frontline is kind of our big thing here. So we can see that instead of like going for board clear or something, he burns energy to just hit me for an extra point of damage in the face, which I'm not convinced is really good. It's basically 2 reactor for 1 damage. That's not great. One reactor for 1 damage. Okay. We're playing our Zenai 73, who was our only one in our collection up until I think like literally yesterday. I think I got my second one yesterday. But this guy had been my eternal companion, throwing out those Mechadrites that I cannot use on my Ursa Rax. So pretty much just played him for the energy sake. Okay, so looking at what we got here. We got some options. We can crack grenade one of these, or no, correction. We could crack grenade into ability. Yes, that is correct. We could seek and destroy with crack grenade on 2 separate targets. Use this guy to clear the clear one of those, and then face the other one off. We can buff the Ursarex. Let's see what we do. Okay, so we go for the seek and destroy. Easy money. This is a glorious trade. I mean, Xenai there exists to give you a Mechandrite. Like, that is his thing. He gives you a Mechandrite and a token. Great. Then we decide to buff the Ursarex. Okay. Don't hate it. We've got the Ursarex at a point now where we can take this off the board and leave our Ursarex on the board and have 2 energy to blast him in the face, giving us a health advantage to go with our big card advantage and board advantage. Unfortunately, we just decide, forget that. I will bash him in the face with my own face, leaving us with not the health advantage, a 1 hit point more board advantage, which if he had any kind of removal really wouldn't have made much difference. Fortunately, he goes pretty slow here and just decides to heal himself. He does take the takes the Ursarex off the board. We get to kind of the same place. If he had done it the last time, he would have been multiple health down on us. DSATs back then, one of my favorite cards. Still one of my favorite cards. Some great AoE. I sometimes wish my Sango deck had DSATs in it because we do not have AoE. we sorely lack on AoE other than the Crimson Spectre and our Prophecies. Okay, so he heals his boy up, front lines it, but that's not really what this troop is intended to do. This troop is kind of a ping guys out and get guys back. And also, I mean, like, when you got a Karenite squad on the board, the absolute last thing you want to do is hit the enemy warlord's face. You really don't, even for some bonus damage. Alright, and that just puts us right there at the end. We got lucky on the DSATs, that was 50-50. We could have, it would have been better, arguably, to outflank that, because it would have been the guaranteed kill. They're both 5 energy. The DSATs was 50-50, although the DSATs did do a little bit of face damage and ended up putting him in range for lethal, so we got lucky with that. But if we take a look here, it wouldn't have actually mattered because that extra 1 or 2 damage done by the DSATs, we could have got him with face damage. Alright, so there's our glorious victory, propping us up to the previously unattainable heights of something like 1200 in the rank. Really, the lesson from this game is, I mean, I started less than a year ago. I think I started in maybe like March, something like that, of 21. And we're up in Terra. We're doing okay. I don't pretend to be some phenomenal player. Like I see guys, you know, on the streams who are just absolutely incredible, like Pirate and Vapix and those dudes who are, you know, playing at the 4,000 plus elo. I very likely will never reach a 4,000 elo. However, if your goal is to get into Terra, if your goal is to start seeing meta decks, if your goal is to build competitive stuff that really get a knowledge of the card pool that lets you do clever things, it doesn't take as long as you think. It really doesn't. I bought Corbacks and I think a little pack of coins with them. Other than that, I have not bought cards. I mean, we can see from my constant thirsting for coins and for gems that I do not have a ton of resources to work with. So other than that initial bump with Corbs, that's really all it took. Just that and playing consistently, really learning the cards as they come out. Even when there's a crappy meta. I know that Kinza was really terrible when Come Blight Bikes came out and started crapping all over everybody. I know that before that, you know, like we saw it happen with Knights, we saw it happen with Solar Exilia. You just got to push through. Switch to practice for a while. Do events. Do friendly games with your lodge members. I've played some friendly games with some of my lodge members. Chili Dog, shout out, buddy. Those are really fun. They're really fun. It's great to be able to talk with people after the game, congratulate them on the clever things they did, get their feedback on what you were playing. Really, you get exposed to some stuff that you wouldn't otherwise see. But all right, so we'll take a look at our free crates for the day.
A minor setback.
A minor setback. I was working on a Caleb Decimate deck. I saw a really good one posted on Reddit, and I think that Vapix played one with that deck. But I am missing so many key cards. I'm missing so many key cards, not just legendaries either. A bunch of epics too. All right, now challenge. We got the set to Sons of Horus, so let's see what we got. We get a chosen. We already had that. Okay, so gems. All right, free gems, free coins. Don't hate it. We're going to take a look at the shop today. Looks like it's all Iron Warriors and Wolves. Don't play any Iron Warriors or Wolves at present. I think I might have had a comment requesting 4X, so we could take a look at 4X for a potential deck for the next season. I don't know if I have any Iron Warriors cards. Might be a Cultist Iron Warriors hybrid. I shudder to think. But anyways, that's it. It's just a quick video here. I'm gonna make a ranked video right after this, and I'll put both up on the channel today. So you guys let me know what you think. If you like these just like little short game reviews, I'll try to play some interesting games. If you I'll always try to play interesting games. If you prefer the 5-game format, let me know. If you'd like to see 3 games, 7 games, 51 games in a row. I'm not going to do that because I would probably need at some point to get up to go to the bathroom, and quite frankly, I don't feel like figuring out how to pause this thing and come back to recording it. But in the meantime, while my YouTube skills grow, I'm Automatic Jack. Thanks for watching. See you next time.